Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you for coming to my channel. It's been a minute since I filmed this aquarium, so let's do it now. Yesterday I gave it a significant trim, all the plants, and I'll get into that in a minute. But first, what the aquarium is a 30-gallon long, maybe a little bit over 30 gallons. It's from SR Aquaristic. Look them up. It's a great purveyor of high-end aquarium stuff, including, I think, plants, driftwood, rocks, and obviously they make their own brand of rimless aquariums, and they're really nice. They've got, I think it's called the German seal, so it's like a black internalized frame on the edges there, so very beautiful, very sleek. It's a good aquarium, a good water box. As a matter of fact, I'd say it would compete with Waterbox, UNS, and ADA in terms of its quality, and the price is pretty good, all things considered. I believe it's a bit less, 10% maybe in general, off of some of the brands I just mentioned. So that's what this is, and it's that great bookshelf size, the length. Now I wouldn't put this aquarium on a bookshelf, 30 gallons, and that beautiful thick glass, I mean, and the substrate and the hardscape. This is a heavy instrument, and it currently sits on this beautiful racking system, which I heavily researched and finally pulled the trigger a couple years ago and got it online, and it's been the best thing I've ever done for this fish room, and I talk about that all the time. And I won't get into it now, but the aquarium sits on this, and it sits regally, beautifully, and safely. This aquarium started out as a river, kind of a rock mountain river scape with a big school of longfin white cloud mountain minnows that I got from White Cloud Dynasty, a great breeder of white clouds and a couple other species. Look him up. He has a YouTube channel and he sells on Get Gills. But at a swap over a year ago, I pulled the trigger on a couple beautiful long fin live bearer fish, like that one right there. I believe that is a veal-tail swordtail, and I don't even think it's the original stock. I think it was produced by a more standard fin female, or excuse me, maybe a hybrid from the long fin variety that I bought versus a standard fin, because those fish struggle to breed properly unless you get what's called a king male, which is a long fin swordtail that has been bred so that it's able to breed. There's a beautiful veal-tail black molly in here, and there's a gold dust molly with the veal tail. I also have these gorgeous tuxedo platties with that stunning black and orange. I got the original group from Dan at Sydney's Angels, another terrific seller. He has a YouTube channel and he sells fish. Sydney's Angels. The name might be slightly different. He had another child and he added that kid to the name of his channel. But if you look up Sydney's Angels, you'll get right to him. And they bred, of course, and I've got all different sizes in here of that particular fish. And it also looks a whole lot like these German-style black swordtails, which I think this is one here. It's really hard with live bears, folks, especially if you want to stick to a color scheme. Mollies, Swordtails, and Platties Mollies will not breed with swordtails and platties, but they will breed with all the other kinds of mollies. And you see this peach colored one here. I actually would prefer that I just had red and black, but sometimes a fry grows up and it just wants to be what nature wants it to be. So there you see another. They're beautiful in their own right, but I was trying to do the black and red thing in here, and so they kind of stand out. Most of these fish, and obviously there's quite a few of them, I do call, I bring a lot to the LFS, at least I used to. I do feed some of the fry to my big fish in the display tank in the other room. And I let a lot, obviously I can't stop them all from growing up. But they seem super happy, and they are beautiful. In the White Cloud Mountains, they're doing fine. Nobody picks on anything. The species seem to get along even when the group is so robust. Because I'm filming, and this is their general feeding spot at this corner here, because the water pushes everything, all the food this way. That's an Oase canister filter that I'm using, and so the push, you can see the water movement. Even if I feed over here, it all gets pushed over there, and so the fish have gotten used to that. Here I have some classic green cryptocorn. I'm always pulling plants out. It's a lush little grouping. Behind it, I have water sprite, and I try to keep it in control in the back corner there. It will reach the top and compete with this Brazilian pennywort here, and a couple different kinds of pothos growing out the tank with their rootstock. You can see it right there. This is Blixa japonica, not an easy plant for everybody to grow, but it seems to do super well in this aquarium. And that's because I know I'm using aqua soil and a clay-based supplement soil from a European named Oliver Knott. I was going for the red U and the clay-based aqua soil, and the UNS brown went together. And I've also added some gravel and sand that carried the same color motif. This is Limonphilia hyperoides, another plant that can be tricky for some, at least to get it nice and thick and showing pink as well as the yellow and green. But again, like the Blixa japonica, it does really well in this aquarium. And this, I believe, is a little grouping of Helanthium, or what's the other creeper on the bottom? At first I thought it was Cryptparva, but it really doesn't look like that. That one will send runners. For me, I'm glad it's staying where it is. The contrast is really nifty. And I like having these clumps overlap, but still provide distinct places in the aquascape. So some of you know my channel, I'm always talking about organized chaos, and that's a good example. It's organized, but I can't debate that this is not a chaotic, albeit lovely tank. This is Cryptocorn balancea. Absolutely stunning cryptocorn, maybe the most beautiful of them all, and relatively, if not very easy to grow in different conditions. It has a colorful and variegated leaf, and it's long and slender, very beautiful. There's one lone Blixa japonica. I just pulled that out from the other group I showed you, and that's a little bit of Sterigen repens. There's an intense amount of Anubias growing into the Dragonstone, and what was one piece of sort of sideways, what's it called, manzanilla wood, which you hardly see anymore. And I cut some of the pieces that were sticking out, because when you have this many fish and you have pieces of wood like that, if they get frisky or excited, I did get some fish that literally hurt themselves. Plus it's harder to clean the glass when you have wood right up against it, so I clipped some of it back. This is, as most of you know, what's that? A Borneo Hillstream Loach. I've got 4 in this tank. Easy to breed, and maybe they have. A gorgeous orange laser Coreodora. I don't know how many of these I have in this aquarium anymore. I bought like 6 or 8 when I first got the white clouds, and then another trio at a swap. I did, 1 or 2 have died, but I can see them in the back there. It's not that they're shy, but they enjoy being in this dense undercarriage here. And why wouldn't they? And I'm okay with that. There's plenty of fish to look at and to see. There's also a couple Plecostomus in here, bristlenose. Thank God, look at that. Right on cue. There's a super red male. Very beautiful, very red, lovely specimen. This is a longfin Coreodora. It's not the kind that I have in my other tank, which those are crowd pleasers and they have long flowy fins. This is more, it has that funky, that's not a deformity, that's the way the fin structure is with this fish for the dorsal fin up there. So this one's a more bull-like longfin albino Coreodora, and I've got a few of those in here. Blue Dreams, do not, if they're being preyed upon, I'm always finding babies. So, and that was an adult. We just looked at her juvenile anyway. When I clean the filter, it never fails. There are 20 babies, and I can't catch them all. It's hard to catch super tiny shrimp when you're cleaning out your filter, but I do my best. I put most of them back in here. That's Jungle Vale, and that's the original colony. I pull tons of that to keep it in check, and I like that it works with the flow. It's a great tip. Use it in the back like I do. You don't need a screen or anything. Once it grows in, it's a perfect background. And it goes with the flow, so to speak, literally and figuratively. Over time, this tank became just the jungle aquarium, and the hardscape became overtaken by the plants, and that's gonna happen unless you really are disciplined. But I just love plants too much, and aquariums evolve just like we do, or just like I hope we do. And I love that about this hobby, that your aquarium can change. Sometimes we get bored with an aquascape. You don't have to shake up the Etch-a-Sketch and redo it. Maybe just move a few plants around, take a group out, add a different group in, or let Mother Nature predicate what happens in your aquarium, and before you know it, it's apt to look a whole lot different than how you drew it up. And maybe better, maybe different, but just as good, rarely worse, if you're taking care of your aquariums like I do. And I know if you're watching this, that means you love this hobby, so you're taking care of your aquariums. That's the great thing about fish tubes. I mean, you get newcomers, but they want to learn and get better and change and evolve, just like I do, just like you do. And everybody wants to take care of their aquariums. Gone are the days of fish bowls, or the very sad 10-gallon left in the den to fester. That used to be the dark side of our hobby. The forgotten got bored with it, don't take care of it. fish keeper, but YouTube and the ability to share and the growth of aquascaping has just inspired everybody to take this hobby to the next level, one aquarium at a time. There's that beautiful, look at that. Love those fish. I also love the phosphorescent red. You know, who needs glowfish when you can get these? These just literally explode with color. Granted, that's not natural in the truest sense of the word. It's been bred this way over generations, but there's nothing artificial about the color. And there's a Siamese algae eater. I don't have an algae problem in this aquarium, knock on wood. I'll get a little up here by the flow, some BBA, but I just pull those stems, or not stems, but the leaves, the tendrils. And here's a little tip with jungle veil. You don't have to necessarily, first of all, you can cut them, and you don't, the myth that you have to pull the whole plant, that's not true. You can cut them as you see fit, but I also have learned if you grab the leaf at the end and give it a quick yank, 8 times out of 10, it pops right out, and you can literally trim your plants that way. And I find it to be very easy compared to trying to stick my hand down into the mass here and pull plantlets out. And since they send runners, when you pull one plant, you're going to have another and another and another as you go down the line. But you can see on this Anubias, yeah, maybe a little algae here and there, but basically it looks really terrific. There's a flower beginning to form right there. If you have any questions or observations, please do share. If you like this video, whether I like it or not, YouTube tends to favor videos that have been liked and channels that have more than a few subs, and forces us into that capitalistic mindset of trying to get your attention and have you prove it. I really kind of hate that I even have to ask, but I want to keep doing this, and it makes me feel great to see that people are as happy with these fish tanks as I am. Thank you so much, everybody, and as always, keep your hands in the tank, albeit carefully, and ciao for now.